The extended teams are in. Let's have a talk about it. So, first off, I absolutely hate Sunday games because of this. Just release the full teams. If you're going to release it on Friday at 5 o'clock anyway, just release the full. Like, what's this doing for anyone? Everyone knows in the club what the final teams are. Just release them, right? In saying that, I do love Sunday games in general, just not this part of it. It's even like when we were playing Melbourne on King's birthday, the Monday, the teams didn't come out till the night before. Like, just make up your bloody mind. But we are here now as the extended squad, and there's a couple of interesting little tidbits that we're going to talk about. We won't spend any time on Fremantle. They're pretty much going in at the moment. They've only put 3 players into their teams, which is up here. The biggest one being Hayden Young as a potential in. They'll probably drop a couple of players, maybe just 1 or 2, to bring in Hayden Young and one of those other guys. So we're not going to look into that too much because there's no really big outs besides, the players that we talked about in the preview. Now, let's look at the pies. So, coming in, we've got Charlie Dean, Patrick Lipinski, Brodie Myercheck, Will Parker, Ed Allan, Beau McCreery. Now, of those 6 players that are coming in, extended squad, remember, Charlie Dean is named on the field as our fullback, so he's definitely one in, so he's not a part of the extended squad. Lipinski is on the wing, so he'll be in, and Brodie Myercheck is named in the full forward position as well, so he'll be in. So there's 3 guaranteed ins for the 3 guaranteed outs. Now, coming out of the squad is Jeremy Howe, Dan Houston. We know they've got 2-week injuries each, but the interesting one is Tim Membrey. Now, Tim Membrey's been managed. He's a 31, 32-year-old Tim Membrey. That's fair enough. He's being managed, kind of like what Brodie Myercheck was managed last week. So Cox stays in the team, kind of like we predicted in the preview. Now, the interesting one for me here is today, Dan McStay was training as a fullback. And look, I dare say they might chuck him back there every once in a while, maybe. But with no Membrey, does that mean we see Mason Cox resting a lot more forward or a lot deeper forward like McStay usually is, and then just tapping out in the ruck? Or what's that setup going to be? So it was just interesting to see them trialling McStay out in the back line, but then dropping Membrey, which I understand. You can't play all those 3 talls plus Mason Cox plus Darcy Cameron. So I definitely understand that, where Mason Cox is doing well. He had a really good game last week. So you keep that continuity going a little bit and you rest the other big forwards. But I think Brodie Myercheck is such a huge... He's still such an underrated player league-wise. We have him last week. We probably end up winning that game. And then Lipinski is another big in. So you've got the best guy going forward with kicking into the 50 for converting it to scores. So they're 3 really, really big ins. I know Charlie Dean, I was a little bit, maybe not harsh, I was positively critical on him, right? If that's a word, a couple of words used together in a sentence. I don't think so. I don't think so. Positively critical. That's weird. I think this is probably a game for him to really show us what he's made of, and probably, I hate to say that this is his last chance because it's not his last chance, but I want to see the Charlie Dean that is dominating in the VFL backline and taking all those intercept marks. And, he's kind of like Darcy Moore in the sense that he's not a one-on-one defender. He's more of that third intercepting tool. So that'll be interesting to see how he plays. But then you look at that back line: Maynard, Dean, Moore, Quaynor, Jacos, Perryman. I hate to say it, but you're going to have to put McStay back there. Maybe it's a little bit of mind games at the moment, and McStay will start in the back line, and Mason Cox and Myercheck start in the forward line. So it's just going to be really interesting to see how that goes. Now, the other ins that we have in the extended squad is Will Parker, Ed Allan, and Beau McCreery. Now, with Beau, he definitely plays. Craig McRae came out in the press conference and said that Beau will play. We're missing his speed. He has just looked phenomenal at training this week at the couple of training sessions that I've been to. Ed Allan had another great game in the VFL after being pretty much omitted from the team last week. I know he wasn't named anyway, but He wasn't sick or anything. They just went with Steele as opposed to him, I assume. And Will Parker is just one of those guys that keeps getting better week in, week out. And if you look at our interchange bench, we know that 3 guys aren't going to make that because you need 5 on the interchange for 1 to be named as the sub. And if I'm going to guess, I think Will Parker doesn't play, even though he was named extended squad things. I still think Ron Steele comes out, and I think maybe Markov comes out as well. But it's going to be really interesting, especially with Fremantle's tools. We talked about it in the preview. I don't know. It's going to be a very, very interesting game. I do like this squad though. And I do like the trust in Charlie Dean. That's going to be my main focus, just seeing how Charlie Dean goes against, these tools and seeing if our backline, who are very system-based, can hold up. But anyway, guys, this has just been my team talk for the Fremantle game coming up. Extended squads, again, let me know your thoughts down below. Watch the training videos. Watch the other videos. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets. And until next time, double shackers. I'll swoop you later.